In 1564, on a bright and sunny day, the great Galileo Galilei parachuted into the world. Galileo had five siblings, and he was the oldest among them. When he grew up, his father suggested that he enroll at the University of Pisa to study medicine. Galileo objected, however, and chose to study mathematics instead. He later became professor and chair of mathematics at the university, which was a great honor. Galileo was extremely talented in the arts of astronomy, physics, math, inventing, and philosophy.
In 1609, Galileo was presented with a Dutch invention called gauge glass, or looking glass. Galileo took the gauge glass and made it better so it made things appear 1,000 times closer and 30 times larger. Using his gauge glass, he was able to see things in space that no one ever seen. After 1609, Galileo became more interested in optics and astronomy and built his first telescope in 1609. At this time, he started making observations with his telescope.
Some of his major discoveries were craters on the moon, Saturn's rings, the phases of Venus, Jupiter's four moons.
However, his greatest accomplishment was discovering that the sun did not orbit around the earth, but that the earth orbited around the sun. Galileo needed the world's theory if the sun orbiting around the earth was not true, so he decided to present the church of his discovery.
The church did not agree, however, due to biblical passages. After a talk with Galileo, the church allowed him to continue his research as long as he did not spread his findings. However, in 1632, Galileo published a book which expressed his discoveries. He was sent to jail and sentenced to a house arrest in his home.
So we know all about Galileo's life now. But is that it? What about humanism? How did it affect Galileo? How did Galileo affect humanism? Humanism affected Galileo because it allowed Galileo to express his ideas. It also allowed Galileo to use more of a science perspective rather than a religious perspective. If not for humanism, Galileo would have never discovered the things that he did. We cannot teach people anything. We can only help them discover it within themselves. It's an excellent quote by Galileo, because by saying this, Galileo expresses that there is more to discover in the world, and that man should try to discover more in the world. For example, Galileo had the courage to oppose the church. Back in the day, the church had a lot more power than nowadays, which would have meant that it would have been a lot harder to say that the church was wrong and the science was right. If not for humanism, Galileo would have never discovered the things that he did.
Galileo affected humanism by his inventions. His telescope showed that humans have worth in the world. Humanism means that man has worth. By inventing his telescope and exploring the unknown, he showed that humans are important and play a major role in the world. Where the senses fail us, reason must step in and measure what is measurable, and make measurable what is not so, are also two great quotes by Galileo. Galileo is saying that the first quote, that whenever you fail, use the reason to solve your problems. It also says that to learn from your mistakes, because if you learn once, you will reason. By inventing his telescope and exploring the unknown, he showed that the humans are important and play a major role in the world.